Hello and welcome to part 2 of the End of Year Celebration 2018 edition. It's totally not late. The official calendar people that I'm not making up has declared New Year videos are officially 2018 videos. Yay! Now that we've had the last minute reviews out of the way, we can have some real fun. It's award time. This year I've reviewed a lot of games, between 98 and 100 depending on how you like to count my reviews of 3 Jackboxes. I'm going to skip reading the list of all the games because, well, honestly it takes a long time. However, I've taken that list and reviewed it multiple times, cutting every game I could off of it. I wanted to look at 5 games. However, I got to 6 games and found a point where I wanted to talk about each to the point that I couldn't choose which one to cut. The rule for being on this list is I had to give it something of an official review on the website. The score doesn't matter. In fact, some 5s are missing, TIS 100 and Ori and the Blind Forest. I tried not to focus on games reviewed late in the year, and I think I actually have succeeded there. And the point of this is to award these 6 games for standing out in some way. I came up with 6 different categories to show why the game is on the list. I'll explain the award and give a little speech for each. We'll start the video with Best Story. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc and technically Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. Both of these games are fantastic for story. I've always said gameplay is king, and I still do, but Danganronpa definitely made me question that quite a bit. Both of these games don't have perfect scores for me, but it's the gameplay that holds them back. However, Danganronpa's story is fantastic. Now, I'm avoiding spoilers, of course, but while I have issues with the story of the first game, very minor ones, the fact is the story is designed so well and done in such an interesting way. Danganronpa stuck with me for a very long time, to the point that I picked up Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, which had an even better story. Both of these games have amazing characters, and they're each developed so well that I can't express how well it's done. The story is interesting, the secrets are very well done, and even when I could guess what was about to happen, I wanted to see how the information was delivered. Honestly, I've had issues in the past with digital novels, but these two have made me reconsider. We might see some visual novels or even some dating sims coming up because of them. I'm not sure, but I can almost guarantee that by the end of next year, at least one of the 2 sequels of the series will be reviewed, and I might even have to watch the anime from what I've heard. I thought of second awards for all these games, and honestly I'd give this one Best Sequel because it's the only one. Yeah, it would be a default award, but it doesn't mean any less. The fact is, this is the only game I felt like I had to review a second game for. The story was good and interesting, and how could I avoid learning more? On the other hand, Danganronpa 2, while having some new issues with it, is a better game. The story is a little bit better, there's a fantastic connection between the 2 games, and most of the issues came from feedback of the first game. I know I gave similar feedback. The fact is, Danganronpa 2 is what I want from sequels. A more polished product that took a few risks, even if they don't pay off, but it continued the compelling story, and that's what was important. Honestly, this is a great series, and if you've slept on it, you might want to take a look. Way to go, Spike Chunsoft. You've done an exceptional job here. Best Design. Into the Breach. Yes, our first 5 out of 5, and the fact is, Into the Breach is just fantastic. I'm absolutely blown away at how well done Into the Breach is, but I want to talk about the design. Now, Into the Breach doesn't have many flaws in my opinion. It's been polished to the point that it shines, and honestly most games should be able to do that. But Into the Breach takes it a step farther and shows that the game has also been expertly designed beyond just a polished stage. As I played through the game, I never noticed that I wanted something different. There's 3 difficulties, and each is well balanced and interesting. I barely touched the highest, but I'm still more than happy with my time here. The use of achievements to unlock new units is also well done, and the diversity of the units is excellent as well. Each playthrough feels great, and honestly I can see the designer's hand as I play, seeing what must have taken hundreds and hundreds of iterations to perfect, and the end result deserves recognition. Into the Breach is just that good. Which leads me to the second award I would have for it. Most Strategic. Pretty much the same story here. The game is polished not just in gameplay, but that design, and that design really allows the player to think about the perfect move and make it. The enemy isn't always perfect, and that's fine, but the player constantly has to use a mastery of all the game's systems to get optimal results. I love playing Into the Breach because it fills the same need that I have for playing like chess or other board games. The small amounts of randomness, but mostly it's in the grid defense area, and it's a safety net, not as an intended part of the game. Into the Breach is just an exceptional strategy game, and for that, again, there was no question in my mind. Into the Breach deserved an award. Thank you, Subset Games. This was a real joy to play. Most replayability. Pinball FX3. Hey, didn't I just talk about this one? I made my rapid look list without really thinking about the awards, but like I said in that list, Pinball FX3 is one of my favorite games. I have over 40 hours between the Steam version on Pinball FX2 and Pinball FX3. I've even spent more time on the Xbox 360, the PS3 version, and even a couple on the Android version. In fact, let me just mention a potential second award right now. Most fun. Now that's subjective, of course, but this is the game that I have the most fun with. Like I've said, this is one of my favorite series, and I adore what they do with pinball. Now, I do like Pinball Arcade as well, but Pinball FX3 does a little more bending of what's possible with the tables, and that's what keeps me coming back to the same tables. There's a lot of variety in the tables, different challenges, achievements, interesting gameplay, leaderboards, matchups, tournaments, and more here for you to keep challenging yourself. In addition, you can buy whichever tables interest you and leave the ones that don't. I do want to talk about a couple things that I didn't get to in the short review. First off, I mentioned the Williams tables are no longer available to buy in Pinball Arcade, and now some are available in Pinball FX3. It does show the perfect example of the difference between a real pinball table and what Pinball FX3 has done over their 80 plus tables. The Williams tables look different, they kind of feel out of place. Just not my favorite tables, but that doesn't hurt the game necessarily, and honestly, I have been warming up to them quite a bit. They're just different styles. The matchups, tournaments, and leaderboard system is really cool, but the matchups do kind of expect you to own a number of tables. I do because I'm addicted to this game, but honestly, it might be limited for others. Finally, I just want to reiterate that finding a good table is essential, but the game allows you to play any table for 90 seconds, which is a nice trial period, but this game really has a ton of variety. There's Jurassic World, Universal Studio Movies, Marvel, Star Wars, Bethesda games, Fallout, Skyrim, and Doom, Alien vs. Pinball, Fox TV shows, which include Archer, The Valve, which is Portal, Walking Dead, and then a ton of their own tables. And that's an amazing variety, and almost every table is extremely unique. If they somehow had gotten the Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy VI in there, they probably had everything I love in one place. The thing is, pinball games are meant to be addictive, and Pinball FX3 has grabbed that ability, and like I said, enhanced it. Whether it be odd gravity, reversed controls, Wolverine's claws shooting out the back, watching two characters fight while I slam that metal ball around, hitting Marty McFly as he skates across the board, or more, Pinball FX3 always does something unique, and that's why I keep talking about it. Zen Studios, thank you for Pinball FX3, and thank you for a great 8 years. I'm still loving it, and I'm looking forward to another year of great pinball. Personal favorite. Exapunks. I'm going to be honest, Exapunks may not be the 5 out of 5 game for most people. At the same time, it's my favorite game of this year, and I love it. And I stand by the 5 out of 5. It is my site. The thing is, it's programming and Zachtronics, and I love those guys. I'll always play their games, and maybe they're going to be the one completely non-objective score I'm going to give each year, but I'm going to have to live with that, and I hope you can too. The thing is though, this game is fun. I ripped through the game in 2 days, enjoying every minute of the initial challenges. And the challenges are great, the gameplay is fantastic, and the game is so good, it just strokes that inner programmer in me, and I love it. Now, it might not be everyone's favorite game, but there's just something about the game that makes me excited, and there's additional puzzles out there now that are honestly quite hard. I'm going to have to go back and tackle them again, as you see in the video. And that optimization is so much fun, as I've said in my review. In fact, let me give you the second award. If you haven't guessed, I came up with the second award for all these games, Best Puzzle Design. I want to say best puzzles, and honestly, I don't know if I can make that case, but the level design and puzzle design here is great. Having to compute baseball player statistics with only one register, amazing. Having to hack into a video game and kill off all the players in an MMO, hilarious. Recreating the tape battle from hackers, yes please. Honestly, some levels are merely okay, but there's so many puzzles here that are just freaking great. Exapunks is my pleasure. It's not guilty, it's not wrong, but you know what? That's my personal favorite. Though, I still have 2 games left, but Zachtronics, excellent game this year, and thank you for it. Best Audio: Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. If you want to know what I think of the game, just listen to my first look. I melt. The audio coming from multiple voices from multiple different directions, the sound design, the experience, dear God, I melt on camera. It's so freaking good I had to pause the game so I could talk about how good it was because I didn't want to miss a second of it. The audio design is so well done, I honestly can't express it, and if you've seen my reviews, I don't normally talk about sound. I don't really care about sound as much, and I listen to games, I play them, they work. Hellblade sat me down though and made me take notice, and oh, so good. You know, Hellblade has a VR mode. My plan is to get a new computer in the new year and maybe a VR setup. I can't wait to try that out. Speaking of which, the second award, Best Experience. Yes, Hellblade didn't get a perfect score, but every minute of Senua's journey is wonderful. I love the story here, I love the slow moments, and I love exploration and finding stuff. I just adore this game, and honestly, it's a game where less combat would have been preferable because everything outside of the combat is so well done. The viewpoint puzzles are odd but work. Val Raven's domain is just amazing, and the game is extremely clever. I just wanted to keep seeing more and more, and it's almost perfectly paced because the ending of the game left me perfectly satisfied in every way. Hellblade is incredible, and if you're one of the people out there who have not played it, please give Ninja Theory the money and play the game. I know they were purchased by Microsoft, I just hope that we'll see the next game on Steam, otherwise, well, honestly, I might break my PC-only policy. Thank you, Ninja Theory. What an incredible game. Best Overall: Yakuza 0. You know what? I haven't played everything this year, and that's just something we're going to have to realize. And as a single reviewer, I have to pick and choose what I play and review. But the game that overwhelmed me this year was Yakuza 0. It's just an outstanding game with amazing visuals, 2 awesome stories, great characters, unbelievable minigames, and just so much content that it almost hurt the game. Almost. There's tons to do in Yakuza, and yet the story is so compelling, I had to make the hard choice of what to do next. It doesn't hurt that the characters here are so good. The story is interesting and constantly made me want to see more, and yet I was sitting at the hostess club one of my characters owned, teaching girls how to flirt with guys for a couple of hours multiple times because I kept getting distracted by the side quests because they were so compelling. I had to finish the game, and yet I spent 2 more days playing it because I couldn't only focus on the story. The thing is, everything was done right. Combat was tight and fun, exploration was rewarding, the side missions are interesting, the characters are great, and what Kiryu is the heart and soul of the Yakuza series, playing as Majima Goro is just so much fun, and he's hilarious. The breaker style is my favorite as well. Sega, thank you for Yakuza 0, thank you for bringing the series to PC, and, well, there's that second award coming. I want more. Yeah, if I had to choose a single game I wanted to play more of, Yakuza 0 was it. I know Yakuza Kiwami, the remake of the original game, is already announced for PC, and it's supposed to be coming soon. Yes, the series is out for PlayStation, but I review PC games. I've watched the news for it, we still don't have a date, but honestly, that's the game I really want. Sega, just give us a release date, please, that's all I ask. And a little more QA this time, you know. But, Yakuza 0, man, wow. And those are my awards. Officially, all 6 games here are the best of the year for me, and I was going to make a top 5 list and give one game the best of the year, but the fact is each game is great in its own way. I know people want to hear Game of the Year, and so, well, yes, Yakuza 0. Best overall is my official game of the year. The order of the games as mentioned here can be seen as from lowest to highest, and really, they're all on this list for different reasons, and none should be looked down on. It's been an amazing 2018, and I'm blown away by everything that has happened to me and this site. I went from reviewing games on Steam to running my own website to creating this channel and hitting 150 subscribers in a short time. If you want to join, the button is down below, and I have ideas of what is to come, but perhaps even a little more discussion than just reviews, but I don't want to make a promise that I can't keep. I want to take a moment, though, and thank you, the viewer. It's been a great year, and thank you for sharing these moments with me. I'll be back soon to talk about more, but until then, I appreciate our time together. Until next year, I'm Kinglink, and thank you for watching.